Let's take a look at actually using a spreadsheet. This is the same spreadsheet that we used in your worksheets. The other day we used the worksheet to figure out a formula for monthly total. Again, we know what the formula should look like, but there are different techniques that you can use to actually put this formula in. Using the steps, we want to add up these four cells. So using the steps that you have in your study guide for writing a formula, let's do that together. The first step is select the output cell. To select the output cell, all you really need to do is click on the cell F5. You know that F5 is selected by looking up in the name box and seeing that cell reference in the name box. The second step is an equal sign. Pressing the equal sign tells Excel to get ready, we're about to do some math. And then from the third step is entering those cell references and writing that formula. We can either type in the cell references, B5 plus C5 plus D5 plus E5, and then by hitting enter, our answer automatically appears. Let's add some more formulas to use and practice some different techniques instead of typing in the cell references. If we wanted to add in the monthly total for meals, we run through the same steps. Selecting our output cell, F8, starting our formula with an equal sign. Now, instead of typing in the cell references, we can click on the cell, hit the plus sign, and click on the cell references that we want to add into our formula. By doing that, it enables us to add those cell references and reduces the chance of making an error. It's pretty easy to type the wrong letter or misread the spreadsheet and type in the wrong cell reference. Another quick tool that we can use to copy our formula down is something called autofill. If I select the cell that my answer appears in and look in the bottom right hand corner of that cell, you see a black dot. By clicking on that black dot, my cursor changes from a big white cross to a little black cross. And if I click and drag down, you will see that my formulas automatically are copied down and the cell references will automatically change. This can be a huge time saver. That's how we use formulas. Now let's take a look at creating some functions. Down at the bottom, I want to create a function, use a function to calculate the total expenses. I could create a formula, but since there's a lot more cell references to use, creating a function just might be easier. Again, if we run through the steps, the first step is select the output cell. So click on the cell we want our answer to appear, which is cell B14. Now, because functions are pre-programmed, I do not need to type the equal sign. So the second step of your formulas is to choose an output or choose a function. That function can be found up here in the auto sum button or the funny looking E. By clicking on the down arrow, I choose the function that I want to use, in this case the sum function. The spreadsheet will guess as to what range of cells I want to use. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. In this case, it's wrong. It's close, but it's still wrong. I only want these 5 cells in my function. So I need to reselect or highlight the cells that I want my function to be used. Once I have those cells selected, I can simply hit enter and my function, my answer appears. Okay, again, there is no function for finding the difference. If I want to find out how much I saved, I have to use a formula. Savings is a subtraction formula. To calculate savings, we're going to take the money that we made for that week, the income, and subtract it by the money that we spent or expenses. So taking the cell references B5 and subtracting B14 gives us our savings. We can, however, use the average function to find out on average how much we have saved. We know that for each week we've saved $224. The easy answer to that question without using the function is that on average we save $224. But in real life we may not have the exact same number. But we can use the average function to find that for us. So again, using our steps, let's use the average function to find out on average how much money we're going to save. So we need to select our output cell. Again, click on cell B16. Step 2, choose our function. Go up to the auto sum function, the auto sum button, and choose the average function this time. Now it's going to choose what we want to take the average of. In this case, it is the guess of the spreadsheet is totally wrong, and we want to find the average of those 4 weeks, those 4 cells. Do not include the total, because when you calculate a total, you're not including the total in your average. And then the last step, hit enter. As we would expect, our average savings is $224. Use this information, use these techniques to help create your assignments starting with the My Spreadsheet assignment.